Endurance Sweat here with my comprehensive guide to Zwift messages. For most of us, our first experience on Zwift is free riding, and we quickly learn to give ride-ons to encourage other Zwifters. It's not too long after that that we get follow requests, and we start following other Zwifters too. Soon we're joining group rides and races, and meetups have become very popular on Zwift. So next, we're looking at ways to communicate with one another by sending messages. At the start of a group ride, you might want to tell other Zwifters where you are in the world. And perhaps you'll need to tell the group ride sweep that you're falling behind and need some assistance. Or just send out a general message to other Zwifters to encourage them. At the end of many group rides, there's an after-party ride. And group messaging is a good way to tell everyone else whether you'll be participating. In meetups, group messaging is a good way to let other Zwifters know that you're ready to start riding. Perhaps if you're having a technical glitch and you need the others to stop, or other Zwifters are getting too far ahead and you just need them to slow down a bit. Or maybe you want to communicate that you need to leave the ride early, and you can even communicate with others in the meetups to organize your next ride. Sometimes you just want to send a message to one other Zwifter, and you can do that in-game. In this video, I'll be going over the type of messages that you can send, how you can send them, and I'll give a demonstration on the companion app. And at the end of this video, I'll be going over some additional resources for communicating with other Zwifters while you're riding. There are two ways to message in-game on Zwift. First, there are group messages. These messages are sent to Zwifters within 500 meters of your location. And then there are private messages. These are messages that you send to a single other Zwifter in-game. And then there are activity comments. Strictly speaking, these aren't messages. These are comments that you leave on someone's activity after they've finished Zwifting. As I mentioned, group messages are in-game only. And group messages are sent to Zwifters within 500 meters of your location. Once someone sends a group message, you'll see the message show up on the game screen in a white box next to the rider list. And your messages will also show up. The messages appear on screen for a few seconds and then they disappear. To send group messages on a Windows or Mac PC, tap M on the keyboard and then a Send Group text box will open up. Type in your message and press Enter to send it. On an iPad tablet, press the up arrow key to bring up the action bar and then tap on the box with the three circles. It will bring up the on-screen keyboard. You can type in the message on the keyboard or tap the microphone to use talk to text. Personally, I use a PC with a wireless keyboard on top of my trainer desk. If I do use an iPad, I invariably use talk to text because I find it very difficult to use the on-screen keyboard while riding. In either case, typing or using talk to text, chances are there'll be some small errors in your message. But I think Zwifters have become accustomed to seeing errors on group messages because everyone knows it's not that easy to type or compose a message while riding. Private messages can only be sent in-game. When you receive a private message, it will show up in an orange text box next to the person that sent it to you. You can only send private messages using the companion app. And take note, there is a private messaging setting. When on, you will only receive private messages from those people that you follow. And conversely, you can only send private messages to Zwifters who follow you if they have their setting for private messaging set to on. Here's a demonstration of using the companion app to send out a group message. Tap on Message Nearby. Then tap on the microphone. Great ride. And our message shows up on the message log and in the white text box next to my name. Now let's give a demonstration of sending out a direct message. First, we'll tap on the direct message icon at the bottom of the screen. And here's a list of people that are riding that I'm following, followed by a list of other Zwifters nearby. We'll tap on one of their names. Now we've returned to the message screen, and an icon for that Zwifter has shown up at the bottom. So if I tap on their icon, now I can send a direct message to that person. Have a great ride. And now I've sent a direct message to that person. You can flip back and forth from your direct messages to your group messages. To go back to group messages, tap nearby. And there are the group messages. To go back to the direct message, just tap on the icon for the person that you sent direct messages to, and now you have a log of those messages. You can also send direct messages from the Zwifter screen. Tap on the name of the person to whom you want to send the direct message, and then tap on the text box. Now enter your message. Ride on, and press send. And now you've sent a direct message to that person. It's pretty simple to send messages, so stay in touch with other Zwifters. On Zwift, you can leave comments on riders' activities, either on Zwift.com or using the companion app. Usually, you leave comments to remark on a rider's performance, congrats, great ride, and so on. But I and other Zwifters use them to message one another after we finish riding. Just a few things to keep in mind when you're using activity comments. First of all, activity comments are public. Anyone who can see a rider's activity can read any comments made on those activities. Second, your ability to leave comments are dependent on the Zwifter's privacy setting for activities. Activities can be set public, followers only, or private. So you can only leave a comment on a rider's activity when that rider has set his or her activities as public or that rider follows you. And third, comments can be deleted. Let's talk about that a little bit more. As I said, you can delete activity comments. On Zwift.com, you can only delete comments on your activities. But on the companion app, you can delete comments on your activities, and you can also delete your comments on another person's activity. On the companion app, to delete a comment, you need to swipe the comment to the left, and then a trash can will appear. Just tap the trash can, and the comment is deleted. Beyond Zwift, there are other apps that allow you to communicate or message one another. The default app for Zwift seems to be Discord, and there are many conversations taking place on group rides. Personally, I find Discord just a bit quirky sometimes. I have trouble with the tap to talk. Doesn't always work great for me, but it seems to be what most people will use. I haven't used it, but I'm aware of others using Messenger, Skype, or Zoom to chat or even have video chatting during a ride. And then many groups maintain Facebook pages, and there are lively exchanges on those pages. So there are some other alternatives beyond Zwift for messaging, chatting, and just communicating with other Zwifters. I hope you have found this video on Zwift messages to be helpful, and if you have, please give it a big thumbs up, and consider subscribing to my channel, Endurance Sweat. Until next time, train hard and have fun.